What's up, everybody? So I wasn't really planning on making a video today, but as you guys may have seen, there have been some new spy shots of the new ZR1. So I just kind of want to talk about it and see what you guys think, what you guys speculate may be new with the ZR1 and what they may change. So if you guys, I'll actually post a link to the spy shots and the blog that actually posted it. So it was from, I believe, carspot.com. And it was stating that there's been some new spy shots, and there's that guy just like staring. He didn't even take his turn at the stop sign. But there's been some new spy shots, and the front of the car was covered and the back was a bit camouflaged. I don't know if you guys have seen spy shots of the new ZL1, but it was camouflaged in the same way, at least the rear end of the car. And what the blog says is the front's basically, heavily camouflaged because most of the modifications will occur at the front end of the car. Now, if you guys saw a bit earlier, a video a few months back that I had posted, I talked about why they went with the supercharger in the Z06 rather than the twin turbos. And in this blog, it talks about the new ZR1 and that there's this idea that it may have an LT5 engine, and if you guys aren't aware, this has the LT4 supercharged engine. That's what the Z06 has, and that the ZR1 will be running an LT5, which is twin turboed. I don't know how true that is, and at least in my opinion, I don't think it's something that I would see coming from Chevy anytime soon. Or the fact that they would just introduce a new motor with the twin turbos. The reason being that Taj Jutner had spoken about the Z06, and someone questioned him and asked, why they didn't go with the twin turbo design in the new Z06. And his reply was just the way the placement of the where the turbos would have to sit and everything, it wouldn't work out with this car, and the way the chassis of it is and everything, and the placement of the engine. So going from that, since the ZR1, spy shots taken do have the same chassis of the C7, I think it may be a bit difficult to see a ZR1 coming out with a twin turbo engine. So I don't know if you guys think that could happen, or what your opinion on that is, but I'd love to hear back. And then there was also speculation that this car is gonna, well, at least in the blog, it's saying that the car will push over 700 horsepower, and that's something I do see happening, definitely with the ZR1. I don't know if you guys knew the power figures for the old ZR1 versus the old Z06, but it was roughly about 130 extra horsepower out of that car. Well, it was 130. So I don't know if the power difference is going to be quite the same with these two new cars, but it'll be interesting to see, especially with the Z06 now being supercharged, and the prior generation only had a naturally aspirated, and then they put the supercharged engine in the ZR1. So that's just something I really want to talk about real quick and see what you guys thought. And I just want to talk a bit about what's upcoming for the channel. So as I've said, in a few weeks time here, we'll be going to Monterey Car Week, so Concourse in Pebble Beach, and we'll be hopefully covering that day to day, and it's about a 6-day event. So there'll be, multiple things going on, everything from like exotics to old schools to new cars. And I don't know if there's going to be any announcements or any new cars introduced, but hopefully. So that's something to look forward to. And then if you guys watched my last video, I did talk a bit about an issue that had happened with my sister. There's really no updates with that. Air Canada is just trying to, send me in a circle and tell me, it's this person's fault, and then those people go back and say it's Air Canada's fault. So I'm kind of still dealing with that. Luckily, they did say they found their luggage, even though they had said it was stolen at first. So that is something that has changed for the better. But it still doesn't resolve the issue of her being mistreated in the airport, and them, kind of profiling her and purposely holding her up, even though she was just going from a transit. She hadn't even exited the airport. And then one other thing I want to mention is I will be doing some more work on the Mustang, hopefully this upcoming week, before I go off to Monterey. And one thing I did learn from the last video is I will kind of do some more close-up shots and show you what's actually going on inside the engine, because I think, mostly, holy moly, I don't know if you guys hear the clicking of this roof, but basically there's a nut here which you can tighten, and then the T-top will actually bolt on or latch on a bit tighter, and hopefully that will resolve that issue. And then, like I was saying with the Mustang, I'll take some more closer up shots, and that way you guys can see what's really going on there. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was I will be taking this car in for a service, and I'll be resolving quite a few issues. So if you guys haven't been following me, one thing I took the car in for was this roof creak, this rattling. I took it in 2 times. It was never resolved. I just kind of gave up on it. And one dealership, when they took the car, they just did a really bad job, servicing it. I came back and there was like a light scratch on one of the doors, and then they had lubed the roof and just gotten it all over the place. So I'm kind of skeptical about taking it back to a dealership for the roof issue right now. There's some like do-it-yourself fixes that I'm gonna try out, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. One thing I am taking the car in for though is apparently with some of the black rims, and then some people have been having this issue on the forums, there's a clicking when you turn the car or the steering wheel to the far right or to the far left. So I've been having that issue, and I want to take it in for that. And then one other thing is there's been a creak from the passenger side seat belt, kind of like the interior mechanism. So I kind of want them to take a look at that. All the other issues I'm kind of just gonna ignore for right now, and then hopefully over time fixes come out, because I think with the air vent and whatnot, that's just something that they don't have a fix to yet, and in time hopefully they will come out with one, or someone on the forums will come out with one. But besides that, that's all I really want to talk about this week. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did and it's your first time stopping by, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.